Chapter 1. Maria grew up in a small village in the mountains. Life there was hard. The land was rocky, and the weather was often cold and rainy. Despite the difficulties, Maria loved her home. She dreamed of a family full of laughter and happiness, children playing in the fields. Her family, like most in the village, were farmers. They worked long hours, but they never had much money. Still, they were happy. Maria learned how to milk cows, plant vegetables, and bake bread. She took pride in her work. As Maria grew older, she dreamed of a better life. She wanted to find a husband who would help her build the family she imagined. One day, she met John. He was a farmer too, and they worked the land together. He was charming and strong, promising her a good future. Maria believed him, and they married. Soon Maria became pregnant. She was very happy and excited to become a mother. When her baby boy, Samuel, was born, she felt her dreams were coming true. He had bright eyes and a sweet smile. Maria loved him so much and named him Samuel. But after a short time, Samuel became very sick. His small body was weak, and no matter what Maria did, he didn't get better. She took him to doctors and cared for him, but he still didn't improve. After a few months, Samuel passed away on a cold winter morning. Maria was heartbroken. She cried a lot and felt lost. Even though it was very hard, Maria knew she had to keep going. She told herself she had to be strong. It was a painful time, but she slowly started to find the strength to live again. Samuel would always be in her heart, but she knew she had to move forward. Chapter 2. After Samuel's death, Maria threw herself into the farm work. It was the only thing that seemed to keep her mind off the emptiness she felt inside. She knew she had to keep going, even though every step felt heavier than the last. The work was hard, but it was something she knew how to do. She had always worked on the farm with John, but now everything had changed. John wasn't helping. He spent his time drinking with friends, going out late, and leaving Maria to do everything. She asked him many times to help, but his answer was always the same.
Why should I work? You do everything for me.
His words cut deep. He didn't see the toll it was taking on her. Maria felt tired all the time. She worked from dawn till dusk, milking the cows, cleaning the house, planting seeds in the fields. There were so many things to do, and yet John wasn't there to help. The silence in their home grew louder each day. She missed Samuel so much, the ache in her chest never going away. The weight of her life with John, he no longer seemed like the man she had married. He had become distant, selfish, and angry. To make things worse, his mother, Rosa, made everything harder. From the moment Maria had married John, Rosa had made it clear that she expected Maria to give them a son. She would visit often, and every time Maria saw her, Rosa would ask the same question.
When are you going to give us a son? A man needs a son to carry on his name.
Maria had tried to ignore it at first, but after Samuel's death, Rosa's disappointment turned into anger. Maria felt it in every word.
You couldn't even give us a child to carry on the family name.
Rosa would say. It was as if she blamed Maria for everything. The pain of losing Samuel was already too much for Maria to bear, but the cruel words from John and Rosa made her feel like a failure. She tried to be strong, to push through the hurt, but it was hard. Every day felt like a battle. The work on the farm, the pressure from John and Rosa, and the constant ache of grief. All of it was becoming too much to carry alone. Chapter 3. Maria kept working on the farm, but John's behavior became worse. He ignored her, drank too much, and never showed any interest in the life they had built together. The farm, which had once been a place of shared dreams and hard work, now felt like a constant reminder of what had gone wrong. Maria began to feel invisible, as if she didn't matter anymore. The days were long and exhausting, but the emotional toll of living with John's indifference was even harder to bear. She tried to talk to him, to reconnect, but it was as if he wasn't even listening. His distance only grew. Maria started to wonder if their life together had ever meant anything to him. She felt trapped, as though she was stuck in a marriage that had no future. Then, one evening, everything changed. Maria had just finished dinner, a simple meal she had made alone after a long day of work. She wiped her hands on her apron as she heard the door open. John walked into the house, his face cold, his eyes hard. He didn't even greet her. Maria looked up at him, her heart sinking. Something was off. She could feel the tension in the air, thick and heavy.
John, what's going on?
She asked, trying to hide the worry in her voice.
I can't do this anymore.
John said flatly. His words hit her like a slap.
I need a family, a real family. This marriage has no future.
Maria's heart sank. She hadn't expected this. Not tonight. What do you mean? She asked, her voice trembling.
I need a son.
John replied, his voice firm.
This marriage isn't working. I need someone to take over the farm. You've failed me. You've failed me.
Maria was shocked, the words piercing through her like shards of glass. She had always wanted a family too, but she couldn't change what had happened to Samuel. The pain of losing him still weighed heavily on her heart. She tried to explain, tried to make her understand, but John wasn't listening. He was set on his decision. "You failed me," he repeated, his voice growing more harsh.
I need a son, and you can't give me one.
Maria's chest tightened as the truth of his words settled in. To him, she was nothing more than a failure, incapable of fulfilling his demands. Then, to Maria's horror, Rosa appeared in the doorway, her face twisted with a cruel smile.
It's true, Maria, you failed. You have no place here anymore.
Maria felt the sting of betrayal cut through her like a knife. All the years of hard work, all the love she had given to John, none of it mattered now. She had tried so hard, but it was never enough for him. John's words hit her like a blow to the chest.
Get out.
Rosa said, her words sharp and final.
You're no use to this family anymore.
Maria stood frozen, not knowing what to do. Her world was collapsing around her. She had given everything for this life, for this family, but now it all seemed meaningless. John wasn't the man she thought he was. He was nothing to him now. It's just a failure, a woman who had let him down. Then John made the final blow.
I'm bringing in a new wife.
He said coldly, his words sealing Maria's fate.
She's pregnant with my son. She'll give me the air I need.
Rosa smiled, a cruel, triumphant smile.
Finally, someone who can give us a real heir.
She said, her voice full of satisfaction.
You're just in the way, Maria.
Maria's world shattered. The life she had built with John, the love she had given him, the family she had dreamed of, all of it was gone. She was left alone, her heart breaking, with nothing left. The pain was unbearable, but in that moment, Maria knew that everything she had once believed in was now lost. Chapter 4. Maria stood outside in the cold night. The door had closed behind her, and she felt lost. Her mother-in-law's harsh words and her husband's cold eyes stayed in her mind. They had made her leave, and now she had nowhere to go. She walked slowly to the back of the house. It used to be a place of comfort, but now it felt empty. She sat down on the hard ground near the back steps. The wind was cold, and she hugged her knees to stay warm. Tears filled her eyes. She thought about her son, Samuel. She remembered his laughter and his bright smile. This yard used to be full of his joy. Now it was quiet and lonely. She missed him so much. Her mind went back to what had happened earlier. The angry words and her husband's silence hurt her deeply. She had trusted him, but now she felt betrayed. The night felt very long, Maria couldn't sleep. The ground was hard and the wind was strong. She felt small and alone, surrounded by darkness. As the sun began to rise, Maria felt a small feeling inside her. It wasn't hope yet, but it was something. She didn't know what would happen next, but she knew she had to keep going. The past was painful, but maybe the future could be different. Thank you for listening. What do you think about this story? Share your thoughts in the comments section below. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share for more interesting stories in the future. Listen to stories, improve your English, and nurture a more beautiful soul.